and welcome to the first installment in Ask the Detailer series. It's basically just a Q&A where I answer your questions that I get via DMs, comments, emails, wherever. So we'll go through a few questions and see if I can help you out in any way. Let's get started. First question is, can cleaning the paint cause premature clear coat failure? So if you are prepping the vehicle for correction, for a wax, for whatever the reason, could that in any way deteriorate or cause premature clear coat failure in the paintwork? I'm gonna say no, but is there in some way, if you do something too much or too long, can it cause some type of damage or kind of thin out the clear coat? That's kind of hard for me to think about. Even if you were to wash the vehicle and you left water spots, that doesn't really deteriorate the clear coat, right? Because what's going to deteriorate the clear coat is if you actually polish it to actually reduce the layer of clear coat on there. So if you're cleaning, you're doing iron decontamination, you're prepping it for doing a polished wax grease remover on it, I don't really see how that's going to deteriorate the clear coat to the point where it's causing premature clear coat failure. So on that one, I'm going to say as an overall, no. Now, if you're polishing it, if you're going heavy on it, if you're really, if you're heating up the panels, definitely. But short of that, I'm gonna say no. Question number 2 is, does a rinseless wash cause more scratches than a traditional wash? Now this one is a heated topic, funny enough, right? Almost controversial, you may say, because there's a lot of camps when it comes to how you wash a vehicle, to, what's the proper wash method. Should you do a 2-bucket wash? Should you foam it before you do the 2-bucket wash? Should you use multiple wash mitts or wash towels in the 2-bucket wash? Should you even do a rinseless wash versus waterless wash versus, there's so many ways that you can go about it. So first and foremost, I'm gonna say whatever works for you, just keep on doing that, right? If you like the results that you're getting from the rinseless wash, just keep on doing that. If you like the results from doing a 2-bucket wash method and foaming it down and using 5 different wash mitts, just keep on doing that, right? Now, as far as the actual question of does a rinseless wash cause more scratches than a traditional wash? And a traditional wash, I'm gonna be more thinking of a 2-bucket wash method where you rinse down the vehicle, you foam it down, and then you do your 2-bucket wash method. So I'm gonna say yeah, if you're putting them, if you're comparing apples to apples and you're doing all the proper methods with a proper wash medium, you're using quality products, you're working in shade, you're doing all the proper techniques, right, on both formats of the wash, then yeah, I'm gonna say you'll probably cause less micro scratches or swirls in the paintwork with the 2-bucket wash method versus the rinseless wash. But if you're doing it the proper way and you know what you're doing, you're gonna get favorable results with either method. So flat answer is no, I don't think so, because you can still be doing the 2-bucket wash method and still going, still do more work there and still cause more scratches than on the rinseless. Why? Because then you have to take into consideration, right, what's the condition of it, how what's your the down pressure that you're using on the wash mitts, the lubrication. But flat answer, I'm gonna say no. If you know what you're doing, you're gonna get favorable results. All right, next question here is, for protecting my vehicle, should I go with a carnauba wax or a synthetic sealant? That's one of the things where I don't really get too caught up on that. It's more so, instead of carnauba wax or sealant, it's what form of protection do you prefer to apply, right? Let's say you have, someone that really enjoys working on their vehicle, cleaning their vehicle and maintaining their vehicle, and they do it once a week. They might find more satisfaction of using a paste wax over a sealant due to the actual application of it. Or someone that is more in a rush and only does it once a week, they're probably gonna default to a spray wax because that's just easiest. It's a little bit of protection, but they get to do it once a month and that's good enough for them. So less of carnauba wax versus sealant, but more so of which one is easiest and more. Because it's if you only protect if you do a wax, if you apply a wax to your paint, right, but you do one every once a year and you drive it 24/7, it stays out in the sun, it's better if you keep a more consistent schedule on applying that protection. So I know I'm not answering the question specifically, but I'm just trying to think about it in a more broader context. But for us, we always, on all our customers' vehicle, if it is going to be some form of protection that's not a ceramic coating, it's gonna be a sealant, just because they last longer. They're just more durable than your carnauba wax. We honestly don't really use any type of carnauba waxes on customers' vehicle. 100% of the time, if it's not a clear coat, it's going to be a synthetic sealant. All right, so next question is, what's the best form of protection against water spots? All right, so this one, some of you might not like this answer, but if you are looking for the absolute best form of protection when it comes to water spots, like the absolute best form that is, like, you can't argue it, it's the best form to protect it from your paint, it's gonna be PPF, paint protection film, right? That's gonna be the absolute best form of protection. Same thing with clear coat, right? Like if you really wanna protect your paint from scratches, from rock chips, from all these things that like are actual damage that can like have you send your vehicle to like a shop to like respray it and such, it's gonna be PPF, paint protection film. So for water spots, the absolute best form of protection is going to be a PPF because it's always protecting your paint, right? It's gonna get to the film first and it's gonna stop there. And you can lightly polish that if needed. But short of that, I mean, the next one you could say is like a ceramic coating, but even then, you know, like a ceramic coating, a sealant, a wax, they all have its limitations, right? Like they can only do so much. Like is a ceramic coating scratch resistant? To a certain extent, you can say yes, but in what most people deem what is scratch resistant, no, right? Like you can't stop a key from leaving a mark, or if you brush on it with some jeans, like you're gonna cause some scratching, some marring, right? So there's always to a degree of what it can protect, but if you want the best form of protection for your paint, not just for water spots, for like any form of protection for your paint, it's gonna be PPF. From that, it's gonna be your ceramic coating. But even then, again, it's gonna have its limitations to what it can actually do in terms of protection to your vehicle. So if you apply a ceramic coating or a sealant and you go to a parking garage or, you know, parked on the street next to some sprinklers at a park, you know, what the chances of the clear coat or the sealant like completely stopping the water spots from etching into your paintwork, you know, somewhat minimal. I'm sure it'll definitely help when it comes to removing it. But as far as like completely, you know, halting the water spots from sticking onto your paint, is gonna be it's not gonna happen if you're not using some type of PPF on your paint. It is what it is. The best form of protection when it comes to your paintwork is gonna be a PPF. After that, it's gonna be a ceramic coating. Okay, so next question here is, I have some faded, cloudy sections on my hood. Would polishing or protecting it remove that? So it would help if I had those photos so I can actually see what it is, because it really depends. We've had plenty of times here with customers' vehicles where it's completely faded, like the hood, the pan, like it's basically just like completely oxidized. And you know, the customer saying, hey, like, are we able to save this? Do I have to get it resprayed? Like, what can you do for me here? And a lot of times, not even with wet sanding, just simply buffing or correcting the paint, basically doing a two-step correction on it, brings back almost 100% of that gloss and clarity into the paintwork. So a lot of times, like, customers are completely just like astonished by the results that we get, because like, let's say it's a black colored vehicle, it's oxidized, it's faded. So, you know, even after they wash it, it just looks so faded, so dull. Like there's no color, there's no life to the vehicle. And then after doing a correction and polishing on it, it looks 1,000 times better. And even though there might be some swirls in there, some etchings in it, if you remove the oxidation, the fade, you know, the actual fading part of it, it's gonna look 10 times better, because you go from cloudy, faded, dull paint to, even if there's still scratches and etchings and like, you know, even clear coat failure, it's still shiny and glossy. So it really depends on what you're looking at, because then there's also a lot of times to where a customer does come to us where maybe the roof, the hood, the trunk there's like some fading going on, and upon further inspection, it's just clear coat failure, meaning like there's nothing we can do at this point. You know, we could try polishing it and make it look slightly more glossy, but at that point, like, it's done. The only other option for this is to get it resprayed, and that's far beyond what we do here as detailers. So, you know, possibly it can be polished out, right? But it just really depends on the condition. Not an easy way, but like if you're looking at that spot and you can kind of see some striations, some scratching on there, that could probably mean it's clear coat failure. But it really depends on what you're looking at. So first thing I would do is like just get, if you have a polisher at home or wherever you are, and just polish that section. Don't do it correct, just polish it and just see what happens. And just do a little test spot to see what kind of results that you get, because I don't know, it's hard to say. Like if a customer comes to us and they're like, hey, I had this faded spot on my hood, are you able to remove that? I'm not gonna say yes, I'm not gonna say no. I'm gonna say, hey, the best thing that we can do is just you bring it into our shop and we give it a test spot and see what we can do. Over the phone, without seeing it, without actually putting a polisher on the panel, I'm not going to be able to tell you what we can do, because I'm just guessing in the dark as much as you are to if we're able to remove this or not. So I don't know, it really just comes down to you putting a polisher on it and seeing the results that you get from it. But I hope it goes your way and it is, you know, you are able to correct that issue without getting it resprayed. All right, last question here is, can I use a tire dressing to dress my interior? So basically, if you're using a product that's made for rubber or plastic, right? It can be used on rubber or plastic. So if you have like, you know, I don't know what product comes to mind specifically right now, but if it's made for rubber and plastic, it's made for rubber and plastic. So whatever rubber and plastic you have that you want to dress, it's dressable, right? So, you know, could you use a product that's you know, on tires? Could you also put that on your exterior plastic? Can you put it on the plastic and rubber inside your engine bay? Can you put it inside the plastic in your interior? Yes, because it's made for plastic and rubber. So if you, what's the question? Yeah, so if you know, if you're using a tire dressing, you can use it for your interior plastics, for your exterior trim. That's what we do here, where most of the time, the same, we have it in separate bottles though, just for like ease of use for us, right? If we have a dedicated exterior dressing and then we have a dedicated interior dressing, but it's diluted, I believe it's diluted differently, and it's in different bottle, just because how we use it is primarily why we do that. For instance, on the exterior, for the wheel wells, we usually just spray it in our spray bottle and cover the wheel wells like that. But in the interior, we actually put it on the foam applicator, and we don't really need to spray it like we do for the exterior. So it's more of a how we specifically use it is what dictates the bottle that we use. But we do use the same product for the interior and exterior. So, and that's just another step of like keeping things simple, you know, like could you go out and get a door panel dressing, a tire dressing, an engine bay dressing product? Can you go out and get a, you know, I don't know, some, you know, dashboard dressing? I mean, sure, but like, why need 5 different products when one product can do most of what you need it to do? So, you know, that's the way we look at things over here. So I'm gonna end the video right here. Actually, I think it's like under 10 minutes or around 10 minutes, and that's where I'd like to keep this. Let me know in the comment section down below if you, well, actually ask me your specific questions when it comes to detailing what you need help with, any questions about, you know, just if it's in your driveway, if it's for a customer, it's whatever, what detailing questions do you have, let me know down in the comment section down below. I'll probably make this at least once a week, just because there's an endless amount of questions that I can answer, because there's just so many scenarios that one can play in their head of what they need help with, or, you know, things that they need help with when they're actually working on their vehicle, whether you're an enthusiast or doing this as a profession and a career and in your business. So thank you very much for watching the first installment of this Ask Your Detailer series. Let me know what you think about the video in the comment section down below. Leave your questions, like this video, and I will see everyone on the next one. Bye-bye.